Brian Martin here with the follow-up installment of the Blessed and Bored series. You'll recall the premise behind the Blessed and Bored series is that with the coronavirus all around us, we as responsible citizens are doing our part to flatten the curve by practicing social distancing and other measures. Well, this leaves me as an avid reader poring over all sorts of material. And as a part-time preacher, I draw inspiration from so many sources. And I feel like it's my job, yea, my duty, to share with you this inspiration, with the hope that in the ensuing dialogue, we might learn from one another. Last week, I posted a video in which I asked the question, when did you realize you were the exception to the rule? I want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to watch the short video and left behind a comment. The insight, the depth, the warmth of those comments is greatly appreciated. For those who admitted that they too had never heard the second part of that rule, I just want to invoke God's blessings upon you for vindicating me. And then there were those smugly admitting that they already knew the full rule. Well, God bless you for having a complete education. So let's go into the comments, shall we? I want to thank Sarah Anderson for her transparency in telling the story of being married at an early age and that there were those who did not believe that that marriage was going to last. And here now, 18, 19 years later, Sarah saying, I'm the exception to the rule. And I just want to know, Sarah, were those disparaging comments at that critical point in your life fuel for you to become the exception to the rule? So feel free to leave a comment regarding that. I'm going to bounce right over to Claudia Morgan, who wrote that as a woman of color, she's the exception to the rule. I couldn't agree more. Amen, sister. Leave a little more in the comments and tell us what that looks like, what that feels like. How did you realize it? And finally, Ron Martin, he said, well, I find the word exception boring. Instead, I favor the term exceptional. And I love that because that really takes us to this next part. When do we make the transition from being the exception to being exceptional? So with the 13 seconds that I have left, I'm asking you to tell me, what does that look like to you? Going from being the exception to being exceptional. Looking forward to the comments.